Hey gang, it's Reagan Dunn. I'm privileged to represent this area on the King County Council. Folks, we're entering some very tough times right now in King County and Washington State. It's nothing we're not going to get through, but it's a challenge for our community, and I think it's something we should be concerned about. I don't think anyone should be panicking right now with the growing pandemic or the economic challenges, but folks should be concerned. One of the things that makes America great is that every single generation of us has seen challenges in America, from the Civil War to the pandemic of 1918, World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, even things like 9/11. And every single generation of Americans has found a way to work through it. And we do it by working together. Today, I just wanted to show an example of one of the things that you can do to really, from your home, to help make a difference, not just for you and your family, but for the community at large. The mayor of Woodinville was kind enough to share that Mobax Nursery, a wonderful family-owned nursery, one of the best in the Puget Sound region, is having a very significant shortage on plant and vegetable starts. I checked with a couple other nurseries that I know, and they're having the exact same challenge. And so as folks around the community lock down for the stay-at-home order, the starts are very, very hard to get. And one of the ways that we can get around that is by making our own starts. Probably don't know this, but I like to garden. And don't tell my friends, but I do. Okay, for the actual potting soil, we're going to use a black gold seeding mix from SunGrow. You can get it at your local Home Depot or over there at a local nursery. And what we're going to do is we're going to empty the contents into a bucket, and we're going to add a little bit of water to that, about, I would say, about a quarter of a gallon. And we're going to mix it up real good so the soil's already moist. Well, once you have your soil all wetted down in your bucket, the next thing to do is put it in your pots. Now, there's 100 different ways you can do this. The easiest is to use a seed starter kit like this that has 72 separate cells in it. Underneath where the soil is a place where you can put water, and then once the seeds are planted, you can actually put a plastic top on it that acts as a greenhouse. But that's fancy. If you don't want to be fancy, there's a lot of different things you can use. Water bottle, an old coffee cup, plastic cup of some kind there. Even a coffee pod works really, really well. I've filled most of this bucket with soil already. But basically what you're doing is you're just simply scooping this soil in. You can use a spoon if you want, or any household appliance. Pack it down, not too much, but a little bit. You want to get the air out of there. And then when you're done doing that, you want to go ahead and sweep off the tops, because when you pop these out, when you're ready to put them in your garden, your raised beds, which we'll focus on maybe tomorrow, you want to have them not connected so the root systems aren't intertwined. So you want to kind of get clean breaks so you can move them out of there. Okay, so once you have the soil completely into each of the bins, 72 in this case, you go ahead and you move it into the pan that has about a ½ an inch of water. And that'll get all of those little pods nice and damp, in addition to the water that you put into the bucket. So once you've got your water into all of your seed pods, you're going to set up a table and put those by the window. The key here is to be by light. It doesn't have to be open sun or full sun at this stage in the plant's life, just by a window. And it also helps to be in a relatively warm area. Room temperature is good. Upstairs is better than a basement. In this case, I have a folding table above the heat vent, simple setup right by the window. And I put water in all those areas. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to add seeds, just basic seed packages, to the pods. Being careful to mark all of our various plantings. These two sections are going to be for bush beans. And we got heirloom beets over here, everybody's favorite food. Some cabbage, some carrots, cauliflower, peppers, peas, cucumbers, you got it. Now, each seed calls for a different depth, and so with respect to these peppers, for example, I'm going to go ahead, it says 1/4 of an inch, so I'm using a pencil. It's a perfect tool for this. Just going down a little bit, and then here's your seed package. They actually dye these seeds the color of the peppers which is very helpful. We're gonna put a red pepper right in that hole. Watch that. Boop, there it goes. Cover up, firm it up. It's exactly how you do it. It doesn't really matter what kind of seeds you get. They're all usually around anywhere to $1 to $3. A trick that'll help you out with some of these seeds, they're so small that it really does help to have a pair of tweezers to pick those seeds out and put them in the hole. On almost every species, unless it calls for something else, I actually just put one seed in each hole. And then after a week or so, maybe two, if I don't see something coming up, I'll plant a second seed. So that's kind of how we're going to do it, one at a time. And because it's still March, we have time to correct any errors in terms of germination. When you're done with it, you're going to have a whole bunch of leftover seeds. And this is one of the important points about what we're looking at right now. As I told you, there's a shortage on starts, and we're going to help the community out by making our own starts. But when you're done, I want you to save a few packages of seeds. In this case, I'm going to save some lettuce seeds because some of these aren't going to germinate properly. And instead, I'm going to put the lettuce seeds in that area later on. But the rest of these seeds, I don't need them anymore. I'm going to donate them. You might consider taking them back to the place where you got them for a donation box, donating it to a friend or neighbor, or perhaps even a senior center. You don't need these anymore now that you planted, and it'll help somebody else out a lot.